Every brand has one fear they refuse to say out loud. Let's find out what yours is. WhatsApp said it across 5 countries. Ad awareness jumped 11.5 points in 1 month. In this issue, you're going to learn about the inoculation play, the mechanism that turns a brand's biggest liability into trust, 3 industries where this worked, 2 conditions that made this pattern destroy trust instead of build it, and a hospital malpractice study that reframes why transparency works in any market. Let's dive in below. So here's what you need to know. Most brands can spend their entire marketing budget trying to make customers forget the fear they're already carrying into every buying decision. But WhatsApp did something different. They put that fear on display. And they not only did that in 1 country, they did it along 5. The mechanism here is why naming brand's biggest liability builds more durable trust than any other feature claim. The mechanism is actually simpler than most brands would expect, and that's actually called the inoculation play. Cross-industry proof, this same pattern won across 3 other industries that I'm going to show you, and then we had 2 failure conditions. Those are coming up in just a second. So what is the inoculation play? Well, first, it's a brand that finds its single biggest fear, skepticism, criticism customers associate with their product or with their category. Then it makes that fear the centerpiece of their marketing, and it's backed by overwhelming proof that the brand has resolved it. So what did WhatsApp do? They ran the not even WhatsApp across 5 countries on TV, digital, OOH, and audio. Their tagline stated directly that their own platform cannot read your messages. They put the meta stigma on screen so that everything is blocked out. We don't see this, but you do. And it showed the architecture that just made it irrelevant. 11.5 percentage points ad awareness in the month, the highest single brand gain across entire UK market in June 2025, also tracked by YouGov. You could see the full survey and graphs in the newsletter down below, and 5 countries, as I mentioned before. So why did this pattern work back in May of 2025? First off, number one, consumer trust had hit historic structural lows. Edelman's 2005 trust barometer shows that majority of global consumers now approach brand communications with a default in skepticism. When distrust is the starting point, feature forward marketing reads as noise. So naming that fear signals that the brand sees what the consumer sees, that consumers are really concerned about Meta and their privacy laws and WhatsApp, and they have concerns. That recognition creates the beginning of trust before any claim is made. Number 2, AI marketing had trained audiences to tune out. And I wonder where it's at in 2026, but every category is just filling with content engineered to make people feel good, look good, sound smart. Pattern recognition is all the more sharper now. It's not just about avoiding contrast constructions, X, not Y kind of sentence structures. It's not just about M dashes anymore. There's just too much polishedness going on around. And I see it a lot working on LinkedIn in particular for VP fractional sales, writing content, commenting. The comments in LinkedIn, it's just so easily seen as AI. And now people are actually misspelling words, right? So that contrast creates a lot of attention. Campaigns that surface limitation, vulnerability, mistakes, not being as polished. It reads more as human in a market saturated with polished assurance. And number 3, category anxiety mainstream. Privacy, data security, AI surveillance, financial risk, healthcare quality. These fears have crossed from niche concern into everyday consumer behavior, from banking to the markets to where you use your card online on Amazon. Any brand in a high anxiety category is sitting on a potential inoculation opportunity. So that window was probably narrowing in 2025, but it's still very much applicable in 2026. As long as AI is being used, it will always be applicable. So where else did this pattern win? Well, this is the same pattern, the inoculation play, and it worked with Dove Beauty. 2004, almost 22 years ago. It named the beauties industries as complicity in making women feel physically insufficient. And that accusation became the headline. Sales grew 2 billion to 4 billion in just 3 years. The second place where this won, and I love this ad, if you can look at this on my screen, it's called Don't Buy This Jacket. You have conversational copy there. You're telling people what not to do. It gets them interested, and it shows a jacket. Not a bad jacket. This campaign was Patagonia, and this was the Outdoor Appeal 2011. They ran a full page New York ad. You can see this right here. Shows a beautiful coat, and it says all the costs on the environment that it took to make this coat, and they're telling you based upon that, do not buy this product. And they ran it on Black Friday, telling customers not to buy this jacket. They listed the environmental cost of producing one item: 135 liters of water, 20 pounds of CO2, and yet the revenue grew 30% the following year to 543 million. Let's look at the last example. It also worked in fast food. So McDonald's, hey, there's this overall stigma that McDonald's, we don't know what's in your food. And this is true for all fast food, right? There's canola oil. We know that seed oils are now a problem. It's been a problem for a while, but it's starting to become a little more mainstream. And they developed this website, Our Food, Your Questions. You can ask any question about their food. And you can see here, back when I looked it up, there were 216 results at that time. McDonald's had a QSR of 2012, invited customers to ask their hardest food quality questions publicly on camera, and their response answered nearly 6,000 questions. The pink slime accusation, why their burgers don't decompose. As you remember watching last week, the moldy burger, the moldy Whopper from Burger King, and how their fries are made. So their CMO described the result, this is really cool, as the type of conversation we want to have. So as you can see, the inoculation pattern works at least in 3 other industries, and it will probably work in yours if you're able to apply this GPT that I have in the description down below. Who should use this pattern? That's a great question. So 4 things. Number 1, can you name the fear? What's the single biggest fear your customers carry into every buying decision? Number 2, does your brand actually resolve it? In this product that you offer, the operations, something customers can verify independently without looking up at some study that you had put together for them. Number 3, can a competitor make the same claim? If yes, the inoculation doesn't differentiate. It only works when the resolution is specific to your brand and what you offer. And number 4, what happens when a customer tests the claim? WhatsApp encryption is technically audible. Patagonia's repair programs are physically accessible. Dove's commitment shows in every ad. But there is one red flag you need to keep in mind. If your product contradicts the claim, marketing accelerates the deficit. So marketing will just make things worse. There was an example of Volkswagen. They ran a sustainability campaign after Dieselgate incident. Consumer trust stayed depressed through the entire campaign period, and the inoculation requires an operational reality customers can actually verify. So just going for sustainability just sounds like a little bit of a social justice thing, and it becomes a purpose-driven aversion, but it doesn't actually invert like we saw with Dove. So it has to be verifiable. If you wanted to implement this, just looking at what WhatsApp did, they named the fear out loud, the single biggest criticism your customers carry in, 1 sentence, no softening. Most brands just can't get past this step. So you need to be able to do that accurately. Number 2, you need to audit whether the brand genuinely resolves this. Number 3, find the proof layer, be specific, touchable evidence that lets consumers or customers confirm the claim of their own terms. Number 4, make the fear the headline, put it at the center of the campaign, make it the centerpiece, not just on the periphery. And number 5, you got to deploy it with consistency over a number of different countries if you're an international brand. If you're a local brand, just consider keeping that same message until you get those results. Just a little bit about my take on this. So Working in healthcare for about 15 years, there was a really interesting story. When physicians at University of Michigan hospitals began disclosing their mistakes openly to patients, malpractice lawsuits actually dropped in half. Patients weren't suing to punish the doctors. They were suing to find out what had happened. And when the doctor shared, patients actually forgave. So when I've seen this actually happen in the healthcare setting, this instinct, it just runs against disclosure, but it has a clinical name. We call it organizational psychologist Pierce Steele calls it an ego protective maneuver. We delay putting our reputations on the line because we've learned to equate our self-worth with our outcomes. Brands can do this structurally. So the question I keep coming back to when I look at these campaigns, like with WhatsApp, the ones that worked arrived without any fixed story about themselves. They let the real thing be seen. The most dangerous question in marketing is not what should we say? It's rather, are we performing instead of saying? Are we performing instead of saying? So integrity is number one in marketing. And marketing, if you use this approach, will only make things worse. So be very careful about what vulnerability you're going to use and what what doubt the person is going to have. Every issue here, break down the campaign, client ready framework, assessment questions, contrarian take, and also there's a GPT down below. If you want to try out this pattern on your own system, on your own campaign, feel free to do so. Just check out the description down below. That's it for me. This is Matt at Strategy Signal. Take care. Bye for now.